Good evening, folks. Welcome back to Equipping Believers Ministry. So, sorry I didn't get my normal Friday night video uploaded. God told me to rest. Rest, you say. Or are you saying, no, you just decided to take the weekend off? Actually, He told me to rest. I've got a big move coming up here soon in the next week or two, and I didn't realize how much had been getting to me until God said, you need to take some time off. Rest in society is a dirty word. It's a four-letter word. We aren't allowed to rest. We are told we need to work, work, work. We should always be doing something. Heaven forbid if we should take a day off. But you know, the Lord made heaven and the earth in 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested because it was complete. He also made it one of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt keep the Sabbath holy, which was to take a day of rest. And it's all through the Bible where even the land should rest on the seventh year so that it can be renewed. We all need to be renewed at times. So we need to be able to rest. In God's rest, you are talking about peace of mind and heart in the middle of the world's chaos. As I said, I'm getting ready to make a big move here in the next week and a half. And you know, how do you do that? You know, I have packing to do. I am literally moving, you know, away from the town I grew up in, away from both my sons. I will be 9.5 hours away from him, although I'll be closer to my grandson. I will now only be 10.5 hours from him. But, you know, there's been a lot of changes that are going to be happening here in the next couple of weeks, and it can get overwhelming. So how do you have that peace? How do you rest in the middle when you've got all that going on? Well, for me, I went out of town and I literally got away for the weekend and went to go visit a friend of mine 50 years that I'm not going to get to see for a while because I am moving. So I was just blessing God. We had a beautiful weekend. The weather was wonderful. I praised God that everybody got to make it. They ended up having a whole big family thing. So I got to see a lot of her kids and their kids that I wouldn't have got to see normally on a weekend down there. We just sat around in the wonderful weather outside and talked and laughed and watched the kids play in the pool and ate and just talked and laughed. So it was a wonderful rest. And then I worshiped him all the way home yesterday. Another way, so you're saying, well, I can't take off this weekend. You don't have anywhere to go run off to, you know, and it doesn't have to be anything that complicated. Sometimes we can just take 5 or 10 minutes and just sit down and close your eyes. Read the first 3 verses of Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul, and leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Close your eyes and envision yourself in that field, laying in the grass with the breeze blowing through your hair. Imagine walking with Jesus along the stream of the still waters. You can't be anxious and you can't be worried when you have that vision in your head. It's just not possible. It just shoves out all of the fear and anxiety. And then while at the end of that, and while you're in peace, and while you're imagining that in your brain, ball up all of that in your hands, all that worry and all that things that have been bothering you, and maybe all the guilt and the shame. And then just picture yourself in your mind just handing it over to Jesus, giving it to him, and letting him take it on. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 through 30. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Jesus is helping you carry all your burdens, and he will carry most of that weight on that yoke if you allow him to, and if you just give it over to him. Jesus wants you to be at peace with him, and he wants you to be at peace in the middle of the chaos. It's not that hard to do. It just takes some practice, and it takes the word battling back the darkness. I pray that you will take some time and rest, even if it's 5-10 minutes. Read Psalm 23. Trust in the Lord that He's got this. And sometimes we just need to wait on the Lord. It is hard to wait on the Lord. I came back and I still have the move coming up. I still have all the stuff, but I'm in a much better place. I am more at peace and I'm more relaxed about the whole thing because I know God has got this. When we wait on the Lord, Isaiah 40, verse 31, those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount as wings on wings as eagles, and they shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. If we wait on the Lord, He will renew us. And sometimes these changes take time. Sometimes they don't happen overnight. Sometimes with the loss of a job, it may take you a little while to find a job. There's going to be, a lot of different situations. But turn it over to the Lord. Give it to Him. Trust in Him. Wait on Him. And know that He's carrying you. One of my favorite poems when I was growing up is, and I think it's by Anonymous. I keep saying I'm going to look it up again. But I'm sure you've seen it. It's called Footprints, and where God is walking with somebody and they say, God, in all the times in my life where I struggled the most, I always only saw one set of footprints in the sand instead of two. Where were you? Why weren't you walking with me? And Jesus said, those times where you only saw one set of footprints in the sand, that was not me that left you. I was carrying you. That's why you only saw one set of footprints. You got to know that Jesus is carrying you, that He is trying to help you. You just need to let Him. I love you, folks. Trust in Jesus and get to know Him more.